Hey, what's up, witches? Me, Luna, here with a special unboxing because this is a gift deck. And I'm so thrilled because it was mailed last Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. It was mailed 1 week ago from Scotland and it got here yesterday. So 6 days to ship something from Scotland, and that was very exciting. I was expecting it to take a lot longer, and so was my dear viewer, Allie. So, Allie, thank you so very much. Oh goodness. This is Chris Walder's Goddess Tarot. And full disclosure, yes, I do have a pocket version of this deck, but I put the full-size version on my wish list because the pocket version is hard to shuffle, being so small. And so I never pull it off the shelf, but it's a great deck. So Allie owned this deck. She bought it used. I can't tell you how much I love buying used decks. It's just a wonderful way to go. You save money. You rescue decks that otherwise might be headed for the bin. But yeah, it's a great way to get the decks that you want for not very much money. And this was no money because it's a gift. The only thing is it didn't come with a book. So Allie also sent me a link to a PDF of the book, but this was not one that was scanned by a Chinese company that's bootlegging decks. This was, pardon me, from Chris Walder's actual website. So it's a legit copy, but I found out that the little white book that comes with the pocket version is absolutely identical to the full-size version. So I'm very excited to have the PDF to go to, but this is also the exact same book as the big one. All right, let's get going here. So what you should know is because this is a gift deck, I will be reading personally for Allie when I do my test drive at the end here. And you can have that same deal. There's an Amazon wish list down below. Purchase me a deck from that list, and you can include a question in a note or contact me with a question, and I will read for you because you sent me a gift. What a deal, eh? So here, this has already been given the tape treatment last night. You can see the tape around the edges. The box was breathing its last, so I reinforced it last night, and I am raring to go. So here we go. Goddess Tarot, created by Chris Walder. As rich in symbolism as it is in beauty, the 78-card Goddess Tarot deck is an instrument for personal growth and an essential tool of empowerment and transformation for women everywhere. There we go. Do we have a copyright date? Not on the front, which is a little odd for US Games decks, but here is the lovely note I got from her. From Culloden, I think that's how you pronounce it. Dear Luna, here's your deck. I bought it years ago on eBay. It was used and not in very good condition, and it doesn't even have a book. But the cards look as good as new. It's up to you if you want to keep this or buy a new one for yourself. I'd get, I don't know, the booklet can be found online. I've seen the booklet can be found online. I'll see if I can find it. I really hope you like it. Lots of love. And she found it and sent me the link. So thank you, Allie. And lots of love and blessings to you too. And of course, since you've given me this deck, you will get blessings every time I decide to use it. All right. So copyright here is 2003, which is interesting. It seems like it should be older, but you know, that's 20 years ago. Holy crap. All right. The Goddess deck is a celebration of the divine feminine, drawing inspiration from the many goddesses honored through history and around the globe. The Goddess Tarot uses goddess myths and imagery to update traditional Tarot symbolism. It acknowledges women's contemporary needs as well as her mythic past. Through my own personal experiences with Tarot cards over the past 15 years, I've come to think of the Tarot as a potent archive of what I call soul pictures. Pictures revealing what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious, those subconscious rivers of archetypal experiences held deep within our psyches. The stories told by these soul pictures speak to our condition today. They address our common experiences as humans attempting to make sense of our lives and the world around us. From the earliest times, stories and myths have been used to impart wisdom and when we feel overwhelmed. So she's going, just talking about how myths are used. And you know what? I'm going to read that. When we feel overwhelmed by life's demands, stories allow us a more detached perspective of events when we stand too close to the trees to see the forest path. They shed light so we can find our way home. As ancient and rich in stories as the symbolism of the tarot may be, goddess myths are even more so, for these myths are the original women's stories. Revealing and reflecting our collective past, these stories speak to us through history's veils, telling us of women's innate divinity, dignity, and magic. My intention in creating the art and design for the Goddess Tarot was to create a tarot deck that would speak directly to women using our stories while incorporating the archetypal power and symbols of the tarot. In this way, the Goddess Tarot is meant as an accessible alternative deck for tarot readers already familiar with the popular Rider-Waite deck, who seek a deeper experience of the divine feminine in their readings. It's been designed to be readily accessible to lovers of goddesses and mythology without any tarot experience as well. Whichever group you feel yourself affiliated with, tarot expert, goddess aficionado, or feminist, this offering of the Goddess Tarot is for you. As you work with the Goddess Tarot, I hope you will find it an essential instrument for personal growth, as well as the reclamation of the divine feminine. And that's by Chris Walder, of course. And then we're straight into the major arcana, or she describes the major arcana, and then we're right into the meanings. At the back of the book, we have using the Goddess Tarot. So she talks about just the general, how decks have been used in the past. The Goddess Tarot Oracle, the simplest spread. It's past, present, future, past, present, possible, future, and then there's an overall message, which is the fourth card, and then we have a Celtic cross. And that's that. All right, I'm so happy to be looking at these big cards in front of me. Here's the face card that US Games provided then. This is typical US Games cardstock. It's wonderful. Oh, let's look at the back. Beautiful, non-directional. And then we get this now. There wasn't something on the back of the box to read. The Goddess Tarot is a celebration of the divine feminine. Wait. Yes, this is exactly what we read in the beginning of the book. So nothing new there. And I want to show you the pocket. This is a typical size for a US Games pocket deck. Low Scarabeo pocket decks, I think, tend to be a bit smaller. But here's the comparison of the full size and the pocket. And I was very happy to have the full size because these images are absolutely beautiful. But you know what is really hitting me right now? Looking at this is, okay, first of all, where's the Fool? Hold up. There it is. Sorry about that. All right. So here is the 0 card, the Fool card, which is Tara. And look what we have. We've got this beautiful image that has this thin frame around it. And then we have this green boundary around it. And then we have this tan boundary around it with titles. And then we have a white border, not boundary, border is the word I want. So how many borders can you have on a card? 1, 2, 3, 4 borders. And how much better would it be to see even larger images of these beautiful paintings? I mean, at least let's do without this brown. The titles would have fit very nicely there. Anyhow, artistic choices. So we see that the majors have a specific goddess on each one rather than the names of the standard major arcana. So beginnings is Tara, and if you've been around for any time at all on my channel, you know I am a devotee of Tara. So there she is. I mean, she's heading towards an edge here, but we don't really see an image of the Fool. Then for the magician, number 1 is magic, and we have Isis with her with Horus there. It's wonderful. And so I like that the title is kind of like a keyword rather than the fool, which we're going, what does that mean? Does it mean I'm being foolish? No, it's about beginnings. And magic is the magician, about manipulation of energies. And then here's Sarasvati as the high priestess, wisdom. And these inner borders here do further illustrate the image. So here we see like papyrus. Around the outside here we see swans, which is what Sarasvati rides on, is a swan. And we can also see that we are getting goddesses from many different cultures. Oh God, here we go. Estsanatlehi. Estsanatlehi. Fertility for the Empress. See the corn growing? Freya for power. I want to see her bigger. Look at her cats pulling her chariot. Please give me a full-size image of that, please, please. Tradition is Juno for the Hierophant. I love this little window with the moon. So Juno being the wife of Zeus, Jupiter. Look at the peacocks. Talking about those traditions. The Lover's card is just love with Venus. And again, as I'm looking at the little image, I want to see a big image. Come on, Chris, do that for us, please. Here's Rhiannon for the chariot and its movement. Justice is the number 8 card here, and they're very plain about that. They just called it Justice. And there's Athena with her owl. The Hermit is Contemplation, Chang-O, with her moon rabbit. Then we have Fortune for the Wheel of Fortune, and it's Lakshmi. Strength is number 11, and it's Oya. I'm really glad that she kept Strength and Justice as the standard titles because they're switched from the way they are actually in the Waite-Smith deck, where Strength is 8 and Justice is 11. So it makes it very clear for us. Then we have Kuan Yin, Sacrifice for the Hanged Man. Very good choices, appropriate choices of goddess. They make sense. Then we have the Death card is Transformation, and it's Ukemochi. So you see we are getting goddesses from across the globe, around the globe. Balance is Temperance, and it's Yamana here, but Yamanja, Yamaya. Coming across the ocean. Then we have the Devil, which is Temptation, and it's Nyai Loro Kidui. And I want to see what culture this is. Temptation. Within the green waves of the Pacific Ocean resides the seductive mermaid goddess, Nyai Loro Kedul. Her powers reflect the temptation of illusion, of beauties which may be enslaving, of obsessions which control. Now, the thing that she doesn't do, which makes me want a bigger book, she says Pacific Ocean. So we know that these are Pacific Island cultures, I guess. The rest of them, Wawalak, the Great Rainbow Serpent. Okay, so she does on the other ones, when it might be something we're not familiar with, refer to what culture things come from. Oppression, the Wawalak. This is Australian Aboriginal. And that is, that's the tower. Here's the star, Inanna. What a perfect choice. Look how beautiful. With the lions and the lion's gate. Here's the moon, Diana, of course. In the birch woods. I love the settings, the natural settings, which really add a lot. And here's the sun, the Zoria. Okay, I want to look them up. because clearly these are Slavic. In Russian mythology, the three Zorya are goddess attendants to the sun god, as well as bringing warmth and light. Okay, so they are attendants to the sun god. There he is, and there they are. Look how beautiful. Here's Judgment, Guinevere. And the world, Gaia. Now, interesting, the departure, because, you know, you would think the way she was doing it before that the world could be completion, you know, and like sun and moon and all those that may be hope and intuition and empowerment or something like that. So they kind of depart. At a certain point, we depart from the way we started the major arcana. The world is Gaia, and then we have Ace of Cups. And I love her artwork. It's clearly done, although we didn't get an artist's bio or a process description or anything. You can see that she's not working in oil paints, right? Everything is very soft and subtle. So either watercolors, pastels, pencils, something like that. I love the moon coming up out of the cup. Here's the 2. And I do believe that each of these suits, okay, the suit of cups is the path of Venus. Suit of cups is associated with Venus, the Roman goddess of love. Whoops. Okay. Let me look at the other suits. The staves, path of Freya. The swords are the path of Isis. And then Lakshmi is pentacles. So we do get 4 different cultures here. This would be, it doesn't look Roman to me, but you know. So there's the 2 and the 3. So she, you know, she says the path of Venus, but I mean, that would be Roman. And we see all these blonde people. So I'm just going to forget that part. Here we are celebrating. So the images here become very familiar. And it looks like in this, she's only looking at the 1 cup and not the 3. Certainly the idea of withdrawal, the idea of loss. We're focusing on the loss, not on what remains. Then we have the 6. We don't have anybody in this. It's kind of like a pip card to denote, you know, memory or sharing of memories, making good memories. Here's the 7, very familiar. Look how subtle, how soft and subtle. There's the 8, the 9. I like the rainbow and all the crescent moons on the tablecloth, and there's the 10. So again, some of them we've taken the people out and just shown, you know, this beautiful rainbow, obviously a symbol of hope, and all the 10 cups and a full moon. Then we have the princess. Let me check how she does the quartz here, if there's any like person assigned to them. An adolescent girl as beautiful as Venus. What's up, I like it. I hear him going diggity dig on the bed. What's up, I like it. What are you doing? All right. King of Cups, quiet, serene old man. The prince. So no, we don't have specific people. There's the prince, the queen, and the king. So you can see that we've replaced page and knight with prince and princess. We see the water around there. Now we have the pentacles. There's the 2. So this is Indian, I believe, Lakshmi, yes. The 3, the 4. She's just kind of sitting there holding it. It's not, you know, a one-to-one interpretation of the Waite Smith images. Then we have the 5. Look at the snow in India, way up in the mountains. There's the 6. So again, we don't get this idea of loans and debts or sharing or charity, or it may be charity, but there's the 7, more familiar. The 8, where she is practicing something. You see a paintbrush. She's obviously plying her trade. There's the 9 with the dove coming down. And the 10, again, we don't have people. That's in the 10s. That's very interesting. Princess, Prince, Queen, and King. All right, then we have the staves. There's the 2. That's familiar, as is the 3, but we don't see ships coming in. We just see mountains here and then water here. There's the 4. Looky, wedding. Yay. And the 5. Somebody said something about the 5 of Wands being people are trying to make a pentagram. Interesting idea. I don't think that's true, but it's interesting. I'd like to see somebody make that obvious on it. There's the 6, the victory card. The 7. This was, the first one was Venus. These are Freya, right? Yes. The 8. The 9, and drum roll, the 10. No people in the 10s. Interesting. So we don't get that idea of oppression. Look, something's been woven here. There's the princess. I love the clothing. I love the hair. They're just beautiful. The prince, the queen, and the king. Looking very fiery around the edge. Here are the swords, the ace. This was Isis. It was Isis, right? I mean, clearly. But I don't remember whether she said Isis or something else. Isis, yes! Okay. Sorry. There's the 2 with the blindfold. The 3. Yeah. The 4. Again, very recognizable images. The 5, so there's nobody else around. She's just looking like she's gathered up all the swords. 6, 7. The 8, interesting. I mean, I guess it's a blindfold. She's on the ground rather than up. Little close to the 10. There's the 9, and there's the 10. So again, no people in the 10s. Princess, prince, queen, and king. All right, let's give her a blessing. Long thing. So I did go and look, and on my Facebook page, Allie and I have been corresponding, and she does have a question for the deck. So once I get the blessing done, I'll let you know what that is. This blessing also goes to you, Allie, by air and fire. May you be purified and charged. And I am going to bless the book from the other deck, because why not? And I am going to bless this note because it has her handwriting and her vibrations. So I'm sending you this wonderful smoke cleanse. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And I'm going to put the note right in the bell. Whoopsie. How did my bell get scooted back that far? There we go. I know how it got scooted back that far. I was doing some beading last night with 15 beads. I don't know if you can see that bead, but there is indeed a bead on my finger. And I did something and knocked over a thing of those. They're clear, by the way. They just went, and they're so tiny. So putting that paper inside the bell, by the sound of the bell. May all negativity be purged. May all the energies align, and may the spirit awaken. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, Chris Walder and Allie, I offer you my gratitude for being here, for gifting me with my gifts and with this deck. And I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael to catalyze the spirit of divination. All right, now a shuffle, which I'm not too worried about. Now, this almost doesn't pass that test. You know, the test I've been doing lately where if I can hold this in my palm and still have enough room to kind of push through with my thumb, I can do it, and it gets easier as I go along. So, but they are a bit wide, and I would love it if at least that white border were gone. Let's take these cards off so we don't shuffle them in like I did last time. See, make it slightly thinner deck. Well. Like butter. So good. All right, so Allie's question. I'd like to ask about my health. I haven't felt very well of late, and I'm pained with depression. And I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so very sorry. Depression is the absolute worst. It's not something you can snap out of. You can want to feel good so badly. So badly you want to feel good and positive and better, and it just won't let it happen. So, and of course, since I just lit everything, now I'm getting warm. You know, I never realized how much heat comes off of that little charcoal, but it does. All right, so asking about Allie. Allie's health. Allie's health. What do you have to tell the gifter of this deck about her health, about her mental health, about her depression, how she's feeling? They're telling me to cut it 3 times, so I'm going to do that. All right. We have the 2 of Staves. We have the 4 of Swords. We have Transformation, Ukemochi. Justice, Princess of Pentacles, and Temptation. So we have 3 majors, we have 3 suits, and we have a court. So a very good mix, at least. Now, I'm just going to go intuitively first. 2 of Staves is about looking to the future and how we look to the future. It's about creating a plan. And what I want to tell you right away is to pare down your plan. This is what I'm getting. I just got it as a blast here. That you want to look to the future and have plans and think about, you know, when I get to this point and down the road and down the road and down the road. Depression won't let you do that. It won't let you make long-term plans. So pare things down to where you can have a plan like, I'm going to take a shower. And then you execute that plan, and then you have a feeling of accomplishment. So I would like for you to make plans that are easily achievable and that are going to give you some relief. I think I've been saying, and I can't remember which deck it was. I'll find out. But I think it was the Wisdom of the Wild Things, where it talked about reaching for relief. You know, you have a list of things to do. It's okay to go for the one that is most easily accomplished and that will bring you relief. So the relief of a shower, the relief of something easy to eat that will be satisfying and good for you, you know, And if it's insurmountable, for instance, I'm going to take a shower, and you just can't make yourself go there. You just can't. The taking of a shower, we can't. Okay, then we do even smaller steps. All I have to do is go into the bathroom. All I have to do is take my clothes off and turn the water on and step into the shower. All I have to do. So if the thing, doing my filing my taxes, making a doctor's appointment, if that thing is undoable, then it's all I have to do is pick up the phone and dial this number. And when they answer the phone, I'll say I have to make an appointment, and they'll guide me from there. Taking things down into their smallest parts for your planning. Because Four of Swords, there's the depression that we're, kind of in rest mode, in even collapse mode. I mean, you look at this, we're trying so hard to look out, but she's also looking towards the past, and what we find there is the roots of depression. Then we've got Ukemochi transformation here, and I'm going to read this one, which is the Death card. It's time for something to end. Okay. After her death, the Japanese food goddess Ukemochi's body transformed to supply food to humanity. Her head turned into cows. Grain sprouted from her forehead. Oh, so there I see a little cow. Grain sprouted from her forehead. Rice plants sprouted from the goddess's belly, and so life was transformed from death. Transformations, the need to allow something to die in order to create room for the new. Painful change that is painful change that is necessary. These are just meanings of the Death card. Creating life out of death. And reversed is fear of change and resisting transformation. So what I'm seeing here, because she's looking to the past, and there's this, that maybe there is something there that really needs to be fully grieved, that the grief process isn't complete, that the dying, that it's just kind of a chronic, wasting away, rather than something needs to die, right? Or something has died and needs to be grieved. All right, then we have Justice here. Between the Four of Swords and the Two, we have Justice. She's looking to the past as well. Justice is about alignment. It's about justifying things, about even explanations, but fairness and balance. And then we've got the Princess of Pentacles, who finally starts looking forward. Let me go to Justice and read the story there. Oops. Okay, there she is. Athena. Often depicted with an owl as a symbol of enlightenment, the Greek goddess Athena's brilliance of reason was said to be as penetrating as her clear gray eyes. Skilled without equal in the art of battle, she gave just protection to those in need of defense. The need to take a more detached viewpoint of a troublesome situation. Imagine yourself as wise as Athena. Are you being fair to yourself and those around you? The ability to defend oneself so that justice may be done. What's standing out here is more detached viewpoint, and are you being fair to yourself and those around you? So there's a weight, I'm feeling like a weight from the past that is disproportionate to what actually belongs to you. Okay? That you're taking responsibility for things that you did not do, and thinking, if only I had blah, 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 this would not have happened, when that's not actually true. So I really want you to look at, am I being fair to myself about my past actions? And one of the things that I've been reminding myself of lately, when the quacking starts, in the middle of the night, is that I'm the only one that remembers these things. There's nobody else going, man, I remember back when, and she said or did this, and nobody else is obsessing or even remembering those things other than me. So I'm the one that has to let myself off the hook. I'm the one that has to give the things that old me did, old fucked up 20-something loose cannon me did, um, I need to let them go and give them a proper burial. Those events are in the past. I am no longer that version of me. I am no longer that version of me. And I need to be fair to that version of me, that I did the best I could with what I had then. We do the best we can with what we have. And if you do deal with clinical depression, deal with, chemistry that makes your mind depressed, it's not your fault. You can't do anything about it. So, I was just, and that meant I wasn't available for my kids or whatever, but still not your fault. So, are you being fair to past self? Or is it something that I just need to say, that version of myself is gone, and allow that weight to come off of you so that you can begin looking towards the future? Princess of Pentacles. Seductive and sweetly perfumed, the Princess of Pentacles offers all of life's bounties. To possess them, though, desire is not enough. Constructive action must be taken. The ability to create opportunities for growth and beauty, a woman who personifies these forces, the ability to work hard to create prosperity. The reverse, inertia or laziness. So this is one of the things that I was getting vibes of it looking at this, but this is one of the lies that depression tells us, is that we're lazy. When we are physically depressed and just do not have the physical, mental, spiritual energy to come off of dead stop, we can treat ourselves unfairly by saying, I'm just lazy. If only I just blah, 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 I can snap right out of this. Stop it. You're not lazy. So what needs to happen now is an actual plan and taking steps. All right, so between here, trying to plan for the future, and here, this death and transformation, something finally coming to an end, we have to have sort of a practical plan. What is it that I can do? And what I want you to do too is, instead of looking to the past just about where your perceived failures are, look to the past and find your successes. Make a list of them. Because when you're depressed, you can't remember ever having done anything right. And when you're depressed, even when you have that list and you look at what you've accomplished, depression will lie to you and say, yeah, well, that was just a fluke. That was imposter syndrome. So the ability to create opportunities and constructive action. So what's constructive action? Could be something like, and living in Scotland there, it's so funny because we always think of England being like straight across the pond from where we are. And I'm in Ohio, which is the northern half of the US. And you think, oh, it's just straight across. It's not. You guys are so much farther north than we are. And a $20 Amazon therapy light can be a wonderful step in a constructive plan of just helping give your brain what it needs. It could also be contacting a doctor, contacting a counselor. And then we've got temptation down here, which is the devil. All right. I read this before, but I'm going to read it again. Within the green waves of the Pacific Ocean resides the seductive mermaid goddess Nyalorokidul. Her powers reflect the temptation of illusion, of beauties which may be enslaving, of obsessions which control. Tempted by forces one cannot control, something deep within the psyche, the shadow, personified as temptation or addiction, sensual desires, gluttony or envy. Okay, so obsessions. Do we have, I'm looking at how all but one of these cards is looking back that way. I mean, she's kind of looking straight at me, but looking back to the past and just getting bound up in thought patterns. And the other thing that I've kind of got playing on my mind. And this is not, I mean, I am not a physician, I'm not a counselor, I'm not here to diagnose. I'm just here to tell you the things that are popping up in my mind and tell you stories about me. So when I discovered that I had ADHD, and this is me benefiting from my children's relentless research into their own issues, and I finally, listened to watch videos and stuff and went, okay, this is probably true. And I went to the doctor and filled out the little paper. And yes, okay, you have ADHD. And they prescribed the medication. And the very first, and I had been like in a grinding depression, months and months and months of just sitting here thinking about not being here, not making plans, but just sitting here going, if this is it, why bother, And one dose and that depression disappeared. One, because my brain was starving, absolutely starving for dopamine. So there can be a situation where the obsessive thoughts, where the things your brain are doing have absolutely nothing to do with actual events or what you're thinking about, or you're not choosing that. It's a chemical imbalance that is making it impossible for your brain to function like a healthy, balanced brain. Okay, so this is just a strong recommendation of a constructive step being checking into these things. If this depression is unrelenting, maybe there's something I need to do other than try to think my way out of it, because your brain is not thinking like it's supposed to be thinking. Okay. Because temptation at the end says that there is something that you're definitely hooked into that needs to go. And we're going to take a couple more. We've got the Five of Swords and we've got the Empress. All right. Five of Swords. Okay. Two swords are laid down in truce. However, the woman still grasps three others, showing that the fight isn't over just yet. An uncomfortable truce, possible defeat or feelings of defeat, but is it really over? Discomfort or struggle with the situation, need for self-protection. So this can maybe talk about, particularly with this card here, and coming next to this, which is what I was taking the hit on, that it's so difficult to let something go because we're going to label it defeat. Possible defeat, but is it really over? Feelings of defeat. Okay, and I see the Five of Swords, they call it abusive power, bullying, sore loser or sore winner, but I think this could talk about maybe you bullying yourself, trying to bully yourself into being better. And that's not going to help. What's going to help is mothering. The benevolent Navajo corn goddess symbolizes the ever-changing, ever-fertile earth. Like the earth itself, Essanetlehi appears as a young maiden for the spring and summer months. As the wheel of the year changes to fall and winter, she changes in age to a crone. Feelings of fertility and abundance, a new relationship which celebrates one's growth as a woman, creativity, a pregnancy. Okay, so, but what I'm seeing this as here is just that mothering energy. The Empress is about mothering. Let me hold you, let me feed you. Are you warm? Have you had enough water? What can I get you, to make you feel better? So rather than the bullying side, this Justice card here is saying you're not being so fair to yourself. That maybe there's something in the past here that you're just beating yourself up about. And what's really called for is mothering energy. But there's certainly an emphasis on the past. There's certainly some things that need to be left behind. And there's certainly a step that you need to take in order to move beyond, in order to move towards finally being able to let things rest, right? This is kind of the chronic thing. This is something that is dead but won't die, This is the final, and now it's done. But there's a practical step that needs to be taken, and I'm really feeling that it is a visit to the doctor or a visit to a counselor, or to just tell somebody that can help. I am terribly depressed. I don't know what to do about it. Even if you're having trouble making a phone call, is there someone that you can say, I need to do this? Can you help me? It's so hard to ask for help. I know it's so hard to ask for help, but you're asking me. So you're already there, you know? Get some help, take that practical step. But we need some good mothering energy. And they're telling me one more. And look, we've got the High Priestess Sarasvati. And on the bottom, we have Freya, power. So Sarasvati is that High Priestess. And here's the High Priestess telling you it will get better, telling you you can do this, telling you there is help, and asking you to please reach out for that help so that you're no longer suffering. And please, we will find a time to do what we've talked about as well. All right. I hope that helped you. I'm going to read that one. I'm not going to let you go without it. Here we go. Sarasvati, the Hindu goddess of knowledge and culture, is the embodiment of true wisdom. Sitting upon her lotus throne, she symbolizes spiritual knowledge as well as the refinement of the arts. An interest in spiritual knowledge, a teacher who will share with you what you seek, or perhaps you are that teacher. Wisdom gained in a graceful manner. I'm also getting a very strong vibe because Sarasvati is music. And Kelly Howell, I will put a subtitle. Look her up on YouTube. And you have to use earbuds or earphones because it's a stereo thing with two different tones in each ear, but there's beautiful music. There are wonderful meditations to go with it. Retrieve Your Destiny is an excellent one. I can't think of any others right now, but please do that because what those recordings do is they switch your brain frequency, and that can really help with depression when you can't do anything. So all you have to do is look it up, put on your earbuds or headphones and click play and lie down for half an hour. Okay, please do that. You can do ones with just music or with guided meditation, but I wish for you the very best. Allie, blessings, blessings, blessings to you. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You want to get in on this reading thing here? It's pretty much the only way you can get a personal reading for me unless you marry somebody in my family, and all those spots are taken. So anyhow, thanks for hanging with me. I will see you next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.